Adelaide, UVic, University of Victoria in Canada, Priya in India, and University of Calgary in Canada. And other members to challenge the exclusionary knowledge practice that is pervasive in our academy. Cognitive justice moved from the default drive of modernity to pluralistic or multivertistic frame that treats all knowledgeists with high credibility of dignity. Particularly, this is centering the most excluded wisdom, indigenous knowledge systems. Beyond inclusion, we aim to actively center non-Western ways of knowing and being as advanced as a useful system of thoughts. We want to see a validation systems that recognizes all forms of knowledge. We want to see an ethical systems and ethical interpretations and standards that put indigenous knowledge on the table. And in that way, we appreciate cognitive justice as a method for action. So we intend to unlock the nozzle, as Professor Hopper says, unblocking the silos, releasing the knots in academic thinking that prevents responses to social challenge. We advocate for inclusive dialogue, creating space where plurality and coexistence among systems is the norm of operation, not just tolerated. And ethical wisdom, replacing the normative commerce and dense network of interpersonal obligation. At the center of this network, we have Professor Catherine Odora Hopper in Calgary. He's holding, I know he held the Sachi chair at the University of South Africa. He's now holding another similar chair in pluralistic society, and he leads the conceptual architecture of EpiNet. He works in knowledge democracy, bridges the gaps between rural wisdom and high level of policy engagement. The rest of the key individuals will be speaking after me. We have Rajesh Tandon from Priya, we have Bud Hall, and we have Leon Tikli from Bristol. They are all in Paris and have joined us online. Now, the three pillars of epistemic justice is knowledge commons, protecting information good for all humanity, and the avoidance of their commodification, the commodification of knowledge, through, registering them and owning them at an individual level, and then selling them for profit. Epistemic justice is about restoring the rights of every people to own their knowledge and systems. I know knowledge theft has been happening because the knowledge management systems that we are operating in does not recognize our validation systems, and it does not recognize our production systems. So shaping a curriculum that prepares students for the pluralistic and multivistic world is what we will focus on. The role of Gulu University will be of a regional excellence based in Africa, where the need for epistemic justice is much felt. So Gulu University serves as a critical African node, leading the Knowledge for Change Hub, which I am happy most of you are already actively participating. Community-based research integration, advancing indigenous knowledge systems, and linking local wisdom to global platforms like UNESCO. So the strategic objectives are clear. There will be formal activation of the UniTwin. So inter-university collaboration will be, and then the epistemic justice, dialogues, and cognitive justice in action, standard setting for inclusive research, and then public commons, drafting the open knowledge declaration, protection of the communal intellectual property, for which provision has not been made. UniTwins is a network of 130 universities. It's a massive laboratory of ideas involving 1,000 UNESCO chairs. The launch connects Gulu roads to the unprecedented infrastructure for scientific and educational transformation. Our roadmap, we have done the launch today. We are going to the policy phase, and then the integration phase, and then the evaluation phase in the entire life of the UNESCO chair. So we request you to join us in this cognitive justice struggle. And the procedure for joining is as good as the procedure for applying for a new UNESCO chair. There will be expression of interest to the coordinating university, which is Gulu University, through a letter from the local UNESCO National Commission offices, a letter of commitment, a letter of support, then a letter of commitment from the Vice Chancellor or the Rector, including a summary of your institutional expertise. The current members will therefore vote on the application and make a submission to UNESCO for consideration. I would really like to thank you so much for featuring, for a future rooted in cognitive justice and shared knowledge. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor George Openjuru. For those that are in the room, you may notice there was a bit of a technical run to try and sort out some glitches, because we've got some esteemed guests who are part of the network, I believe currently in Paris. I'd be lying if I said what time it is, I'm not certain. And some of them we were hoping would say a few words just to add a bit more to the context already shared. So I just want to do a quick check with those guests in total. Dr. Bud Hall, if you are able to hear us, could you just kindly unmute and say hello? All right, you are able to hear us?
Yes. Did you hear me?
There, your audio seems to be coming. Please confirm one more time you can hear us.
Yes. Hello, this is Bud Hall speaking.
All right, we'll come back to you now shortly, sir. I just wanted to check at least you're getting some audio. Dr. Leon.
Hi, everybody. I hope you can hear me. It's a great privilege to be at this launch, and I wish I was there in person, but it's very good to be with everybody at the launch.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Chipley. And then finally, Dr. Keith Holmes, are you there?
Yes, good evening, everybody. Can you hear me?
All right. So I can hear all three of you. We're just trying to get your audio to be transferred to the room. So it's great that all three of you are here. I'm going to invite Dr. Rajesh Tandon, our last other speaker outside of you, just to speak first and to afford the technical team some time just to quickly sort out those quick glitches. For those in the room, Dr. Tandon is the morning keynote speaker tomorrow, participant, I believe, in the earlier panel dialogue, and as I stated, the co-founder of PRIA. Dr. Tandon, over to you, sir.
Namaskar.
Good evening. What better way?
The voice is and EpiNet is launched. Oh, no more. I'm delighted that this new UNESCO Unitwain network on epistemic justice and knowledge commons to make education inclusive of all knowledges, not just Eurocentric knowledge system, is being launched on this soil from this land and in the middle of friends and fellow travelers and colleagues like you who have been inspiring innovative work in these areas. We may not be very large in number today, but I am hopeful that Unitwain network will gather in the network many more practitioners, scholars, students, community leaders from around the world. And it is a wonderful occasion. Thank you, Dee, and the team here to make this possible, because the final signatures of all the co-hosts were only received last week. And we are delighted that formally the network is launched. It is on UNESCO website itself, and as George has mentioned, in the next few weeks, in fact, we are having a planning meeting day after to take forward the operational part of the network, and all of you will be hearing about it. And the idea is that all the various issues that we have been grappling with in this conference will become part of this conversation on a global level with those who participate in this network. So wonderful to have this here. It's important that the network is being hosted on African soil by Gulu University, Professor George Openjuru, and the launch has also taken place here in Makhanda during this conference on South African and African soil. So thank you very much, and I look forward to mobilizing you all to join the network in the coming weeks.
Thank you, Dr. Hall. I had the pleasure of having a social conversation with Dr. Hall, and one of the colleagues asked him how he manages to keep looking so young, and he looked at me with a straight face and he said, it's special secrets, it's Indian secrets, ask me later. So for the panelists who are in the room, I'm quoting his exact words. If you want to know how old he is, I don't know, but if you want to know how young he is, please ask him about his special secrets. Okay, we're going to give it a shot. Sometimes these things don't work out, and I hope everyone will be understanding. But we're going to just quickly see if we can't give our online participants a chance, the three speakers, just to say a few words quickly, and then we're going to have a live performance. So, Dr., and I should correct myself, Professor Bud Hall, are you able to just quickly say hello, and then I'll hand over to you.
Yes, I'm here in Paris, and I'm just so deeply moved to be able to be here with everybody. As Leon and Keith, who are also here in Paris, we wish we were there with you, and I hope that you can hear me. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Yes, we hear you. Yes.
Okay, so I live and work on the territory of the indigenous people who speak Lekwungen languages. And these are people known as the Esquimalt and the Songhees and the Wasanich peoples. And these are peoples who, for 14,000 years before any settlers who look like me showed up in British Columbia, the Songhees, Wasanich, and the Esquimalt peoples were creating knowledge and building communities and living in harmony with the earth long before European universities were invented and long before settlers began spreading all around the world. So and contrary to what many people may think, the indigenous peoples, the First Nations, the Métis people, and the Inuit people of what we call in the colonial language Canada are very much alive
and still looking after their territory. And this is, so from the University of Victoria, where I am privileged to work, we take the spirit of this new EpiNet, this new Unitwin network very seriously. It follows in the principles that we are trying so hard to live with, new principles. We're hoping that EpiNet will help the world build a new architecture of knowledge where universities have a role to play, but the knowledge that is created in communities and created by previously excluded peoples will be understood, respected, and on an equal basis. I know that I'd like to also say that I'm very delighted to know that this is being launched in Africa. Tanzania is where I got my own start about 50 years ago or so, and I know that Mwalimu Nyerere, that Madiba, Nelson Mandela, Paulo Freire, Maria Elisa Swans, Lorna Williams, and all of the wonderful women and men who historically have been fighting for a knowledge, a world knowledge, not an elite knowledge, would be so thrilled that this is being launched. And so I thank very much Diana and the wonderful team at Rhodes. I'm very grateful to Keith and the great support which UNESCO has given us, and with the leadership of George Openjuru, this remarkable leader, and the team we've got with Rajesh and Catherine and Prachi and Leon and Catherine Odora Hoppers. This is this could not be a more exciting and a better event that we can all be participating. So thank you very much for all of your help with the technical work, and I hope at least some of those words came out. And I'll share the secrets. But you have to wait till I'm a little bit older. I'm still too young to share the secrets.
But I have to talk, so I can't do both of it.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Professor Budhall. And I'm going to check again. Dr. Leon Tickley. I failed to mention also before I hand over to you, Dr. Tickley, that Professor Hall holds a UNESCO chair, and I believe you yourself also hold a UNESCO chair, Dr. Tickley. Are you able to hear me?
Can you hear me? I'm sorry, I'm not hearing you so well. Can you hear me?
We can hear you very well.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll keep it brief because I think my colleagues have really already summed up the momentous nature of this event, the launch of the EpiNet network on epistemic justice and the knowledge commons. And I don't think there could be a more timely moment for us to think about the importance of cognitive justice, the importance of bringing all of the world's knowledge systems and archives together to solve the pressing, burning issues of the day, from poverty to conflict that we see around the world. We need to draw on everybody's knowledges. And in EpiNet, we will be taking that very seriously under George's leadership, Professor Openjuru's leadership, and with the support of UNESCO, and with my colleagues in the network. It's a marvelous opportunity to think about how we can work in more co-creative ways with our communities to create new insights, to respect and validate different knowledges, to bring them to bear on the problems of the day. But I also am very proud to be directing the Perivoli Africa Research Centre at Bristol. And a key component of the work of the centre is to champion transformative partnership working between researchers in the global north and the global south, so that we can advance African epistemic leadership on the continent. And I know that my other colleagues from Bristol who have joined me here today are also very committed to issues of epistemic justice. So I'd like to acknowledge their presence as well today. But just to thank the organisers and to say that there is an enormous commitment in Bristol amongst the network to make UniTwin a force for good in the education and the research space. So I wish I was with you in person, but I am certainly very much with everybody in spirit. And thank you all for inviting EpiNet to launch at your conference today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tickley. And then finally, Dr. Keith Holmes. I'm going to do a quick audio check to make sure you can hear us.
Can you hear me?
Your audio is coming through our side. I'm going to hand over to you.
Are you able to hear me in the room?
Crystal clear.
Can you hear me at the moment?
Yes, we hear you.
Very good. Well, everything's already been said, but on behalf of the UniTwin UNESCO Chairs Programme, I can just congratulate the individuals involved, but more importantly the institutions that have managed to come together around all of the, let's say, institutional traditions, the bureaucracy, the priorities, and to eventually create EpiNet as an international, inter-regional network in the family of the UNESCO Chairs Programme. So congratulations for all the work that has been done in pulling the network together to this point of the launch. Thank you so much for organising the launch event. I would say that this has been part of a process. UniTwin, the UNESCO Chairs Programme, is more than 30 years old. There are people who've gone before who have promoted intellectual and moral solidarity between universities across the world over decades. And I think that part of the fruit of that cooperation has been the increased recognition of multiple ways of knowing, epistemic pluralism, the respect for knowledge diversity. And I think that this network, not only will it be impactful in the countries and in the institutions that it works in and with, but it will also be impactful for UNESCO's overall mission and mandate, to strengthen relations between peoples and build peace in the minds of men and women and children and youth and elderly people around the world. So congratulations, and we know that in fact, Bud Hall often talks about knowledge activism. We know that to make a real difference, it's in the area of knowledge that matters the most. So with your support and our collective intelligence, we will be able to better appreciate the value of the archives of the world. Thank you so much for your involvement and your commitment to the EpiNet.
Okay, thank you very much to Dr. Holmes, Professor Tickley, Professor Hall, and again to everyone in the room just for bearing with us as we work through the little teething pains of technology, and also just being committed and staying. For those in the room, I believe you can find out more information about the EpiNet network online. For our participants in the conference, there's a helpful pamphlet that was included in the program. So please do familiarize yourself. Dr. Tandon and Dr. David Monk are around, and Professor Gulu. And as with any part of the conference, we encourage you to connect with them as and when you can. Before we hand over to Dai to formally close off today's proceedings and probably invite everyone to have another glass or two of wine, I would like to invite Professor Bodina McConaughey and the African Music Ensemble, who will be doing a live performance. I'd give more context, but it seemed as though Prof. Bo was deliberately withholding what the music performance is. So, over to you, Prof. I understand now, Professor McConaughey, why you were so vague with your details. It's a stunning way for you to put forward a motivation for Rhodes to open a school of African dance and music. See, this is the nice thing about not working here. I can say these things and say them confidently. This is the last you'll hear from me tonight. I'll see you bright and early at 8:30 tomorrow morning. We have a welcoming from our Deputy Vice Chancellor and then our keynote speaker, Dr. Tandon. But I'm going to hand over to the Director of Community Engagement, Ms. Di Hornby, to just express a few words of gratitude and again express her words, I guess, of appreciation for this moment. Di?
Well, I think you felt it, you heard it, and you found yourself in a very beautiful place tonight with all of those sounds. Thank you, Berdina, for bringing your specialities, your community engagement into our space. Mine is short and sweet, a quick job to thank those who've contributed tonight, to Charmaine Avery, and to our guest speakers. I won't repeat all their names, people from around the world who have put together this incredible network and who promote the work we've spoken about today, we think about, and we apply ourselves to every single day. So thank you so much for all the wisdom and for trusting us to launch it on African soil. I can't think of anything more appropriate at this time. Thank you for that. And then just to say to all of you, just enjoy the evening. There are drinks, there's food. Thank you for being with us. And we look forward to seeing you bright and early in the morning. Thank you.